Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I'm your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And once again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I truly appreciate it. Kicking it off new for 2019. So happy New Year to everybody out there. Again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the show. Last week, I said on the show that we had almost 80,000 listeners to the show, and I thought we might reach that by Sunday or so. Well, actually, I miscalculated. I wasn't even close to 80,000 listeners at that particular time. I wasn't close, not as close as I usually am when I make that announcement. However, a couple days ago, we did meet that 80,000 listener goal. So, hey, thank you so very much for coming in and listening. I didn't look before the show, but a couple of days ago, we reached 80,006. So we were at 80,006 when we hit it. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, all 80,006 listeners of the 800 Credit Score Man Show. You don't know how much I truly appreciate that. So look, we're going to get into 2019, starting off fresh and new for the new year, trying to get your credit scores increased, right? Because you already know, if you increase your credit scores, you're going to pay less interest when you go to borrow stuff. And that means you're going to save money. You're going to put money in your pocket. It actually may even mean that you can buy more stuff. It could be that, because you got a lower interest rate. You know how it comes when you buy a car or something of that nature. You know, your interest rate is going to determine what your payment is, and maybe that determines what kind of car, how much car you can buy. Well, you already know then. If you're listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show, you get those credit scores up. You get into the fair range, you get into the good range, and you get to the excellent range, you're going to pay less interest and put money in your pocket. So if you're trying to do that, you're in the right place. So thank you for coming in and checking out the show. I told you last week that you need to come back. You need to listen for the latest and the greatest information on what's going on with your credit, if there are changes, if there aren't any changes, how to get your score up. And yes, there are some changes that are coming. So we're going to discuss a little bit of those things today. I'm telling you, Experian is coming out the gate. They're coming out the box in 2019, trying to do some things differently, some things that may help your credit score. So we're going to discuss that today on the show. And then next week, we're going to come back. The show's not always, and it's not only about credit. You know, sometimes it's broadly about finances. So, of course, talk about savings, talking about paying off debt and things of that nature. Next week, we're going to dive a little bit into banking. So we're going to talk about banking. We're going to talk about bank accounts, which ones are good for you, which banks might be good for you. And I won't talk specific. I'm not going to dog any bank out necessarily, but we'll talk in categories, if you will, when it comes to banking. Because actually, historically, some of us are unbanked. So there's a lot of people out there that don't have a bank account, whether it's a savings account or a checking account for one reason or another. And so we're going to discuss that a little bit next week. So make sure you tune in next week. If you got friends, you got family, and they don't trust the bank and they never want to put their money in the bank or what have you, then you need to let them know to come in and listen to the 800 Credit Score Man Show next week. All right, so let me do some shout outs. You know, I like to do the youngest among us. So I got to shout out AJ. Yes, Alfonso Denson. That's actually my great nephew, you guys. He turned 16 on a couple of days ago. So I want to say happy birthday to you, young man. I'm so proud of you. So happy birthday to you, AJ. That's Alfonso. I also got to give a shout out to Jaden Meadows. Actually, not youngest among us, freshman in college, but I want to say happy birthday to you. He celebrated a birthday as well, so happy birthday to you, Jaden. Tracy Williams, she celebrated a birthday a couple days ago as well, so happy birthday to you, Tracy, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority right there, came through at Indiana University. And while I'm speaking of Indiana University, I want to say a big happy Founders Day to the men of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Yes, today, 108 years ago today, Kappa Alpha Psi was founded. So I want to say happy Founders Day to all the brothers out there of Kappa Alpha Psi. Happy Founders Day, fellas. All right, so let's jump into the show a little bit. Like I said, you come to me, I'm going to give you the latest and greatest. Hopefully you learn some stuff along the way. So let's talk about this. You may not have heard of this. I talked a little bit about, not even a little bit, I've talked about it over several shows. I talked about Ultra FICO. That was coming and is coming. No date release has been told to us as of yet, but it's coming this year. So January, February, March, definitely it'll be out. So in addition to Ultra FICO, Experian has really stepped up the game. They're trying to do some things. Now, I know I sound pretty excited about it, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it after I tell you about the information that Experian is bringing to us. So out the gate in 2019, Experian is trying to bring some new and innovative opportunities to you to kind of help you with your credit scores, to help you boost your credit scores. So they tried this before, and not necessarily just Experian, but the industry as a whole and some different segments and lobbies out there kind of tried this before. It didn't really take off. That much or that well, but they're trying it again, basically. And so Experian, and this is only going to be an Experian, they're calling it Experian Boost. Yes, Experian Boost. And so it's 3 credit bureaus. You got TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So Experian is creating, or has already created, Experian Boost. You can get it right now. So here's what Experian Boost is. So in this, they want to be able to take your utility payments and your cell phone payments and kind of place them on your credit report. And they're doing this to help you improve your credit scores. So if you're a person that pays your utility bill on time, your utility bill is due on the 23rd of the month, you're going to pay it on the 23rd of the month, or you're going to pay it before the 23rd of the month. If you do that, same thing with your cell phone. If you do that with your cell phone and, that bill's due on the 1st of the 2nd and you're paying it on the 1st of the 2nd all the time, then they want to be able to use that payment, this good payment history for you. That's not a traditional account. So no, it's not a loan. It's not a credit card. It's not a student loan or anything like that. It's not a mortgage. They want to take this non-traditional account, if you will, and they want to use that to help you boost your score. Now, here's the thing. Well, before I get to my take on all that. So that's what they want to do. Use your utility and your cell phone payments to be able to do this. What does it cost you to be able to get this benefit, if you will? It costs you nothing. It's absolutely free. You don't have to do anything as far as making a payment to Experian or anybody like that to get this benefit. So you can pay. It's only for people that actually pay electronically. So if you write a check to your utility place, this is not going to be helpful for you. They're not going to be able to do that. They don't have the technology for it at this particular point in time anyway. So if you're writing checks for that, if you're writing checks for your cell phone payment, this is not going to work for you. So it's people that pay electronically, whether you're paying through your bank, or whether you're paying directly through, some website from the utility company or your cell phone, then it can and it will work for you. All right. So it's for people that do that. So no paper checks. If you're writing paper checks, this is not going to be helpful for you at all. Now, what will they need from you? What will they need from you to make this happen for you? What they'll need from you is access to your bank account. So just like with Ultra FICO, when we talked about Ultra FICO, we talked about it last week and the week before that, and the show before that, when we talked about Ultra FICO, they need access to your account so they can take a look at it. And so what they'll be looking for, and they'll be scanning your account, and they'll be looking for when that payment was made. So somehow, some way, maybe you have to tell them when the payment is due and whatnot, but they'll be looking for it as an item on your checking account when you go in. So you've got to give them access to your checking account. Now, who will this benefit? Who will this benefit? And before I mention that, you can also cancel anytime. You can cancel anytime at all. So let's say, you do sign up, you get a boost, and, it's all working great and gravy for you. Then something happens, and maybe you're not going to be able to make that utility bill payment. Maybe you're going to fall behind on your cell phone bill. Then what? Are you stuck? Do you hurt yourself? Do you hurt your credit because now you've got this on your credit report and they're looking at it on a monthly basis for you? Here's what they can do. You can cancel at any time at all. So if you're going to have an issue, you're not going to be able to make that payment or make that payment on time, or you got to call up your utility place and you've got to get a plan together and say, hey, I can pay this portion now and pay the rest of it later on this particular date or what have you. If you're going to have that issue, then you can cancel. You can cancel anytime at all before it hurts your credit. before you hurt your credit. A lot of things dealing with credit happen to be if you take care of your business beforehand, before you get that collection, before you have that late payment put on your credit report. A lot of things you can prevent yourself if you would communicate with some of the people that you owe. You can prevent those things. Same thing here. So you need to communicate with them. You need to cancel if you're going to have an issue, because you don't want this hurting your credit. The possibility of other things hurting your credit is vast. So you don't want this particular thing to try to hurt your credit. Before this, anytime that your cell phone or utility showed up on your credit report, it was for bad reasons. It was negative. It was a collection coming up on your credit report. But this way, you can utilize this along with other things that we've mentioned before. In this particular thing that they have out now, Experian Boost is what it's called, Boost. You can Google it, and you can go check it out. So you sign up for that. Now, who will this help? So what they're saying is really for people with a thin credit file. So if you have a thin credit file, by thin, they mean you only have an account or two. Maybe you don't have any accounts at all, but you have a thin credit file. You don't have a whole bunch of accounts out there. You haven't been dealing with credit in a long time or what have you. That'll help you. Or you're a person that have been paying cash for a long time, and you just don't have a bunch of accounts on your credit report. So this will help you. And it's also saying what range will it help you? Like, where's your credit score at where it can possibly help you the most? So the range that they're looking at is 580 to 669. So I don't know where they got that odd number from, but from 580 to 669 is where they're saying those people with the credit score of 580 to 669 will get the most benefit from this. Now, that doesn't mean if you have a 720 that you can't participate in this as well. I mean, any boost is good. Any boost in your credit report and your credit score is good for you. So that's what you can do here with Experian Boost. With Experian Boost is what you can do, and that's pretty much the gist of what they have going on. If you follow me, well, if you don't follow me, follow me. So go to, if you're on Twitter, @creditscore_man on Twitter. So hit me up there, follow me there. I will absolutely follow you back. On Instagram, I'm 800 Credit Score Man. On Facebook, you can get to my page, 800 Credit Score Man, as well on Facebook. So follow me on those platforms. I'm also on Tumblr too. I'm pretty sure it's 800 Credit Score Man on Tumblr. I hardly ever go on there, but everything that I put on Instagram actually goes to Tumblr as well. So follow me on there. I'm going to post an article that talks all about this, so you can read about it for yourself a little bit later. So let's get into my take. Before I do my take, let me do a couple more shout outs, and then I'll give you my take on this particular thing that Experian is rolling out. So let me give a shout out to Naisha Shaw. She celebrated her birthday. She's one of everybody around New Year's, I call her New Year's baby. So if you are, December 31st to January the 3rd, you're a New Year's baby as far as I'm concerned. So Naisha Shaw, New Year's baby. Happy birthday to you. This is my god sister, you guys. Kay Monell, she celebrated her birthday, and her birthday actually is on New Year's. So happy birthday to you, Kay Monell. Been a long time since I saw you. Long time since we hung out for your birthday, because we have. So happy birthday to you, Kay. Stephanie Moss celebrated her birthday. Happy birthday to you, Stephanie Moss. Gloria Jackson also celebrated her birthday. So I got to say happy birthday to Gloria as well. All right, so let me give you my take on this. Actually, before I give you my take, that's almost at the halfway point of the show. So let's do the question of the day right quick, and I'll give you my take on the benefits or maybe even the pitfalls of the Experian Boost that's coming out. And it's actually already out, and I'll tell you where you can go to sign up for it as well. So question of the day came from Matthew. Matthew is out of Texas, and Matthew contacted me on Instagram. So we went back and forth on Instagram over a few days, actually. So thanks a lot. Again, you guys can contact me. You can also email me, 800@creditscoreman.com. Yes, 800@creditscoreman.com. So obviously my website too is www.creditscoreman.com. So you can get to my website. You can see the things that I offer there. So get to the website as well, creditscoreman.com, you guys, and send me your questions. You got questions? We go back and forth. Not every question that you send me makes it to the show.